Are you struggling with learning animal communication? Maybe feel like you'll never get there and want a roadmap for the journey so you know where the heck you are and where you're going? Well, I've got exactly that for you today. In this video, I want you to understand that there are three distinct phases to the learning journey of going from an animal lover who wants to be an animal communicator to becoming a confident animal communicator. And that will help you identify where you are now. And by the end of this video, you will know how to get from where you are to where you want to be to hopefully get at least to the next phase. So my hope for this is that if you feel like you're spinning your wheels or working against yourself, or you want to give up because you don't know if it's working and you don't know how to get to the next level, I want you to have this so that you can be confident, so that you can be comfortable with where you are, knowing where you are, and empowered to take steps to get to the next level, because you need to keep going. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to get frustrated. I want you to know where you are and know where you're going and know how to get there. And that's what I want to do in this video. This is going to be a big picture overview video of learning, the process of learning animal communication. Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Cara Gubbins, professional animal communicator and founder of the Animal Communicator Academy. And my mission is to help all animal lovers become animal communicators so they can take better care of their pets and help them when they need to, become a professional animal communicator if that's their dream, or add animal communication to their current profession. My vision is to see an animal communicator in every veterinarian's office, every animal rescue center, every shelter, and even every family. So if you support this mission and my vision, then like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, and we can reach even more animal lovers and animal communicators. I've been teaching animal communication for several years now to hundreds of students all over the world. And I've now begun to see the big picture and to see this pattern play itself out among individuals over and over and over again. And there's really three clear, distinct phases in the process of learning animal communication. So starting from an aspiring animal communicator, going to a confident animal communicator, there's three distinct phases of that journey. And I want to outline those for you today. So let's start with phase number one. This is the starting point. This is the beginning of the journey. And in this phase, you're really just learning the basics, right? You're creating your foundation for success. And the skills are animal communication skills. Maybe you're learning how to quiet your mind, meditation, maybe it's energy tools, but there's a lot of there's like a lot of skills to practice, and there's also a lot of inner work to be done, because at this phase a lot of people have a lot of the same blocks, and the most common ones at this phase are it's not real and it won't work for me, right? So we want it to be real, we think it'll work for other people, we've seen it happen, but we don't know that it can happen inside this particular body and be accurate and correct and successful. And so that's a very, very common experience at this phase, really like not feeling comfortable and confident, not knowing if you can even do it at all. In this phase, this first phase is, I think it usually lasts from about 1 to 3 months. So if you're taking a class, kind of figure in there, give yourself at least 3 months to be successful, because you aren't going to be successful, and definitely not every time during this phase, because there's a lot of things happening on the inside. But once you get through this phase of training, working on a regular basis with your animal communication skills, your personal growth skills, your ability to quiet your mind and monitor your senses and your intuition and all of that, you will have success as an animal communicator. You will have at least one instance. This is what the criteria is that gets you out of this phase, is you will have at least one instance of animal communication that worked. That is proof that you can do it. Not only is it possible in the world, possible for that person over there, it's possible for you. So at the end of this phase, you will now be saying to yourself, hey, I can do this. Right? At the beginning, you're like, I don't think I can do this. I don't know if it'll work for me. But now it is working for you, and you know that, and you can own that. So at the end of this phase, the outcome is that now you're a beginning animal communicator. You have to go through a whole phase to become a beginner. But that's really the truth. Now you actually have success as an animal communicator, but you're still beginning. You're not an expert yet. And the next phase takes time too. So phase number 2 is what I call creating your system. This is when you do enough practice sessions that you start to create the framework for your success, and you're applying your skills. You're practicing your animal communication skills. This phase, the inner blocks are, I'm not reliable, it's hit or miss, I'm all over the place, I'm not good at it, I'm not always right, I have to be right. Those are some of the things that we tell ourselves that, they're not really true. And it's just like learning any skill, you really have to do it a whole bunch of times to really make it reliable, right? You do have to practice a whole bunch. This phase can last like 3 to 6 months, kind of depending. So now that in phase 1, you actually had success as an animal communicator, now you're replicating that success. And so as you go through these 3 to 6 months or so, I mean, it could be longer, could be shorter, what's happening as you practice is that your animal communication is becoming reliable. Yay. You see that you're doing it. You're getting positive results. You're getting good feedback. You're getting reassurance. You're getting confirmation. You're developing your system for how you do animal communication. So this is your framework for success, and it's unique to you. Everybody's going to be a little bit different because animal communication works a little bit differently for everybody. But in this phase, your animal communication becomes reliable. And now you can say to yourself, I can do this anytime, right? So I can do this. I can do this in the nighttime when I'm tired. I can do it in the morning. I can do it anytime that something comes up. I have a reliable skill that works. So this, at the end of this phase, you're now what I consider an intermediate, because you're successful at animal communication, you know you can do it, but here comes the real challenge is, can you do it in all the different situations where it's required? And so that's why phase 3 is all about becoming comfortable in different situations. And now that you can reliably use animal communication, you're going to start to fine tune it and use animal communication in different situations to address different kinds of challenges and solve different kinds of problems. And that's what professional animal communicators do. That's what amateur animal communicators do, working with their own pets or working as a volunteer at a shelter or working with wildlife, whatever it is. We're here to facilitate the connection and the communication to overcome challenges and to solve problems. And there's basically 5 types of animal communication sessions. There's behavioral issues, pets who might be lost, aging and what's going on there, end of life, making the decisions about end of life, and then afterlife, talking to animals that have passed on. You see, I smile at that one because it's like my favorite. I just love those conversations. But what is really common in this phase, as you now start applying your animal communication skills to all these different situations, is that you might get triggered by different situations. And so you might have some inner work to do, some inner healing come up, because you had a dog that was lost and never found when you were a child, and that just brings up a lot of emotions. Or you're saying goodbye to your beloved pet who's been with you for 20 years as you're also doing an animal communication session for somebody else's aging pet. So it can really trigger a lot in us, and there's a lot of blocks that are emotional blocks at this point of really not being open to addressing the whole range of challenges that animals face during their lifetimes. So it's a little different for everybody, but everybody seems to have a situation that's especially challenging for them, mostly because of their background and emotional, situations. I'm sorry. Anyways, so I'm almost done. I can't lose my voice now. So by the end of phase 3, the self-talk becomes, I can do this. I can do this anytime. I can do this anywhere. I can do this in any situation. And so now at this point, I consider you an advanced student of animal communication. So a lot of people at this point still have more practice to do before they can really become a professional. There's more to do, but this is the basic journey from unsure, never tried it, or tried it and just starting out, to I got this, I can do this. And now this is where I like to get people to, because now you can be really confident with any challenge that comes up with your own pet or your friend's pet, or if you work at a shelter and volunteer there and you want to talk to animals in the shelter. You can do that. So you've gone the whole way to becoming an advanced animal communicator, which is really confident and really reliable, really accurate, in able to address any situation that comes up through animal communication. Animal communication might not be the only tool that you use, but it will become the reliable tool that you can now use no matter what. So those are the beginning, intermediate, and advanced phases. The good news is now you have the roadmap for your journey, and hopefully you can see where you are, right? Like, what are the blocks that are coming up? What have I done so far? What have I practiced with? Have I just done some general animal communication sessions? Have I done some specialized animal communication sessions? Which haven't I done? Which do I need to do? Where do I need to get the practice? All of that, because I really think that you need to have all of that under your belt to really be 100% confident in what you do. And let's face it, learning animal communication can be daunting, and it can really mess with your self-confidence. There's so many variables that are involved, and so many of them are internal that are not in our awareness. And pretty much every animal communication student I've ever worked with has doubted herself and doubted the messages received. And many of them get very discouraged. And there's a lot of hand-holding, there's a lot of community support that has to come in there. And every once in a while, somebody will quit because of that doubt. But I think that if you know where you are and you don't have expectations that exceed where you actually are, that clarity will help you stick with it long enough to get to the next phase. So if you happen to be doubting yourself as you're learning animal communication, remember, animal communication is a skill that can be learned. The more you practice, the more you improve. There are distinct phases to learning, and unfortunately, there are no shortcuts. So you have to go through all of those phases to get to the end, to get to that final place of being confident as an animal communicator. And I just want to say it's so worth it. It's as great as you imagine it to be. Being an animal communicator, communicating with animals, is one of the best things going on the planet right now. So go for it, hang in there, refer back to this video as often as you need to just, assess where you are and where you're going and what you need to do. And really, the main thing that you need to do to get anywhere on that scale is to practice and to be willing to put yourself in situations that might be uncomfortable and just try them out. Just check them out, see how it goes. Take the pressure off yourself to perform and just show up and just say, hey, I'm going to show up. I'm going to give it a try. Let's see what happens. And that will take you a long way towards success. So was this helpful? If it was, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell, all the things. And let me know if there's an animal communication topic that you'd like me to address. Just put a note in the comments. And if you know which phase, 1, 2, or 3 you're at, or beginning, intermediate, advanced, put that in the comments too. I'm just really curious about who's watching these videos and where you are on the journey and what's helping you. How can I help you more? I want more animal communicators on the planet. I want as many animal communicators as there are people on the planet. So I'm really curious about where you are, who you are, what you're doing, where you're at on your journey. So just put a note, even if it's just a word, beginner, intermediate, or advanced, or 1, 2, or 3, just let me know where you're at. And if you would like to come join me in the Animal Communicator Academy, registration opens up in fall 2022, and I would love to help you become a confident animal communicator. You can get more info at caragubbins.com. Have a great day.